So we're gonna first solve each equation by taking square roots. So our first problem will be 10 minus 2a squared equals negative 6. So to solve this problem by using square roots, we need to first get all of our numbers on one side, leaving our letters on the other side. So this is a plus 10, so we need a minus 10 from this side and minus 10 on that side. This ends up equaling negative 2a squared equals negative 16. Next we want to get the negative 2 over here so that we can leave a squared alone. So we'll divide negative 2 by that side and divide negative 2 by that side. That way this will cancel out. A squared equals 8 because negative 16 divided by negative 2 is 8. Next we want to get rid of the square root. So we're going to square root this side and square root this side. That way we can get the a alone. So the square root of 8 equals 2 times 4. That is the same as 8, but you can't square root 8 out equally. So, but we can square root 4 out equally. So that means that we get a equals 2 because there's 2 times 2 is 4. So 2 square root 2. That one will be left because you can't pull anything out of it. That is how you solve equations by taking square roots.
That's what's up.
We did it.
Okay, so today we're going to be doing quadratics by factoring. So this is the equation. It's r squared equals negative 2r plus 24. And then you're going to rearrange that, rearrange the equation by subtracting what is to the right of the equal sign from both sides of the equation, and then you get r squared minus negative 2r plus 24 equals 0. So then you're going to find the coefficients of everything, and the first term is r squared, so the coefficient is 1. The middle term is plus r squared, and the coefficient is 2. And the last term is the constant, and it is negative 24. So you're going to multiply the coefficient of the first term by the constant, so then that's 1 times negative 24 equals 24. You're going to find two factors of 24 whose sum equals the coefficient of the middle term, which is 2. So then after you get your whole list, you find out that negative 4 plus 6 equals 2. And from there you're going to rewrite the polynomial, splitting the middle term using the two factors found in the step above, so that's 4 and 6. Then that equals r squared minus 4r plus 6r minus 24. And then you're going to add up the first two terms, pulling out the like factors, so that's r times r minus 4. And then you do the same thing for the second one, the second half of that, so then it's 6 times r minus 4. And then you add up the 4 terms of step 4, and that's r plus 6, and then r times 4, and then you get r equals 6, and r equals negative 4. And then you're done. Heck yeah.
Wait, how do you turn it off now?
Wait, no, it is off. Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Oh, wait, no, it's...
Alright, so today we're going to be completing equations by completing the squares. So our equation today is going to be a squared plus 14a plus 50 equals 5. So first thing we're going to want to do is factor out the first two numbers of this, or the first two parts of this equation. So it's going to be a squared and 14a. And then we're going to add some number, which we will figure out in a second. And we're just going to add the rest of this in, so it's plus 50 equals 5. So to figure out what to put in this box, we're going to divide, so we're going to draw our square, and it is just one square because of a squared, there's just one. And then we're going to divide 14 divided by 2, and then to get 14 little squares in here, we're going to do 7 lines on each side. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 lines on each side will equal 49 little squares in this box. So that's the number we will be adding. So then, go. So we're going to subtract 49 from this 50 to make the equation back in balance. So to factor out this equation, we can do a, just like you would do in factoring from my last video, you would do a plus 7, parentheses, another a plus 7, because that is the equivalent to a squared plus 14a. So we're going to keep it like that. We're going to just combine those two terms and do a plus 7 squared. And then from there, we have to add in the rest of the equation. So it's going to be plus 1 equals 5. We're just going to bring that on down and bring that back on down. And from there, we will subtract that 1, a plus 7 squared equals negative 4. And then from there, we're going to do our square roots. So square root of a plus 7 squared is going to be just a plus 7 equals square root of negative 4, which is going to be plus or minus 2. So we're going to bring that back on down. A plus 7 equals plus or minus 2, and then minus 7 on each side. And then we're going to do, this is going to have a two-part answer to it. So it's going to be a equals 2 plus negative 7, which is going to be negative 5, or negative 2 minus 7, which is going to be negative 9. And there you have your answer. A equals negative 5 or negative 9.
Hi, okay, it's me, Elle. I just wanted to say that I was watching my video and I happened to make a very big mistake. I accidentally, I don't know, I thought that negative 1 plus 5 was negative 4 for some reason. But I just want to say that a common mistake that is always made is the small things like multiplication and addition and subtraction and those darn negative numbers. So I just want to say be careful, watch those. In this case, it didn't alter my problem or my answer, but in the future it will definitely. So just want to say sorry about that mistake, and in the future I hope you won't do that, or I hope that I won't either. Signing off.
Alright, so now we're going to be solving each equation using the quadratic formula. So our equation is n squared minus 88 equals 3n. So what you're going to do is you're going to rearrange it. You're going to rearrange the equation by subtracting what is to the right of the equal sign from both sides of the equation, and then that gives you n squared minus 88 minus 3n equals 0. So then from there, rearranged. From there you're going to find the coefficients. So this is 1, and then this is negative 3, and then you're going to want, this is the constant, and that is negative 88. So you're going to multiply the coefficient of the first term, which is 1, by the constant, negative 88, and that equals negative 88. And then you're going to find two factors whose sum equals the coefficient of the middle term, which is negative 3. And so, going through the whole factor list, you figure out that it is negative 11 plus 8 equals negative 3. Like so. Then you're going to rewrite the polynomial, splitting the middle term using the two factors found in step 2 above, which is, again, negative 11 and 8. And that equals n squared minus negative 11n plus 8n minus 88. So then you add up the first two terms, pulling out like factors, and that gives you n times n minus 11. And then you do the same thing for the second part, and that gives you 8 times n negative 11. And then you add up the four terms of step 4, which was this step, and you get n plus 8 times n minus 11. And then that gives you n plus 8 times n minus 11 equals 0. And then that gives you n equals 8 and n equals negative 11. And then you're done.